Two balls and a strike to count on Taylor. Reyes fires, swinging a drive, deep left field. This is way back. Walk the ball. Let's Taylor.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into DodgerHeads, presented by DodgerBlue.com, part of the Blue Wire Podcast Network. We got great news. Clayton Kershaw officially back with the Dodgers. We don't have to wait that long, like last year's past. It's great news. Daniel, I'll come to you first. I mean, scale of 1 to 10, are we at a 25? Where are we at?
We're at 100 over here, as far as I'm concerned. Like you said, this is great news. The best part is we don't have to wait until March or whatever, like last year, just wondering what he's going to do. They got this done early. I couldn't possibly think of, a better start to the offseason. Obviously, the Dodgers still have a lot more moves, to be made to satisfy the fan base. But, this is as good of a start as anyone could have hoped for.
Yeah, Scott, numbers and stuff we'll get to in future videos, but I just want to talk about this news. Clayton Kershaw, the player. We know he's, quote-unquote, getting up there in age. He's not as old as many people think he is. Justin Turner's quite a bit older than he is, but it feels like he's still got something left in the tank. I think I've posted his expected ERA this year was like the lowest it had been in 5 or 6 years. So how confident, Scott, are you in Clayton Kershaw, the player?
Oh, incredibly confident. He's shown that, it doesn't matter when he's on the mound, even with his, whatever health troubles he's had with his back, his production's been incredible. I like Daniel said, I couldn't think of a better way to kick off the offseason. This is incredible news. He's just still one of the top end starters in all of baseball. Pitched in the All-Star game, and he man, it's just so good to have him back already.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned the health stuff, Scott, so I'll stay there. 22 starts in 2021, 22 starts in 2022. He pretty much made a full set of starts in 2020 as well. I mean, are we concerned about that? The fact that he's missing 8 to 10 starts every season, only throwing 125 innings basically the last 2 years. Does that worry you, Scott?
I mean, not really. Essentially, they've kind of not tempered expectations. They've kind of learned to manage him.
Yeah.
Kershaw even said himself that he was happy that it happened, or whichever his back flared up, early on, so he had enough time to get ready for the postseason. And I think, as odd of a strategy as that's kind of where he's at. And if it works out that way and they're able to manage him, I couldn't care less if he's out there for, 150 plus. If he's out there for sub that and it's incredibly productive with a sub 2.5 ERA, it's good for me.
And the key is that he's healthy in the postseason, right, Daniel? Like, do you think if he gives you the season that he just did, 125 innings, but is healthy for the postseason, like, are you perfectly content with that, or is there some sort of like, hey, that's been okay, but we'd like to see you get through a full season healthy?
Obviously you can't predict injuries, but I'd say that's totally fine. I think in an organization like the Dodgers, where they're going to win a lot of games regardless. Typically the regular season isn't, a huge concern. The team usually has a lot of, quality starting pitching depth. We'll see how that plays out the rest of the offseason. I still think there's more work to be done there, but the Dodgers are one of the few organizations that could really afford to be like, hey, Clayton, give us 120 good innings here. We don't need 200 innings at this stage of your career, and just be healthy for the postseason. So I know that's a big if, especially considering the health concerns he's had in the past, and they seem to continue to pop up. So you just got to hope for the best. But I think one thing that Scott said that I absolutely agree with is that whenever Kersh is on the mound, he's giving you elite production. So if you're getting 120 innings of elite production as opposed to 180 innings of, average to a slightly above average production, give me the former on this Dodgers team.
Yeah, just looking at Kershaw's numbers real quick, 2.28 ERA, that was his lowest since 2016. 3.8 wins above replacement, that was his best mark since 2017. The ERA was below his career ERA, so he has improved in that category. As I said, the expected ERA, the best since 2016 as well. The FIP of 2.57, the best since 2016 as well. And so we're talking about a guy who is both an icon that all three of us, I think, would say we want him around no matter what condition he is in, basically. But we're also talking about a guy at the same time who has been incredibly productive. I believe with over 120 innings, I think he led the league in ERA or something like that. He was one of the top guys in ERA if he qualified for it. And so Clayton Kershaw is back. It's great news for the Dodgers. Again, we got videos coming down the pipeline where we'll break down the numbers and the years and the money and all that kind of stuff and how it impacts the salary cap. But today, it's just celebration. Clayton Kershaw back with the Dodgers. That's Scott Geirman, Daniel Starkand. My name is Jeff Spiegel. As always, we appreciate you joining us. This is Dodger Heads, presented by DodgerBlue.com, part of the Blue Wire Podcast Network. Make sure you're following Dodger Blue 1958 on social media. Subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, subscribe and ring the notification bell here on YouTube as well. Enjoy the rest of your day. And of course, go Dodgers.